Are you ready to learn how the heck to guard your client's attention as an executive assistant? In this EA 101 series that I've been doing, I've been walking you through the process of how to guard your client's time, which is basically time management, meetings management, and essentially how to plan your day and your week. Right now, we're about to start into another series of videos on essentially how to guard your client's attention. And later on, we're going to go through how to guard your client's outcome. Now, when it comes to guarding your client's attention, a lot of what that means is making sure that your client is focused on what they're supposed to be focused on. Essentially, if your client is exhausted, if your client is distracted, if your client is not focused on the right things, that is on you as the executive assistant to help them basically be kind of corralled or managed into the things that they said are their priorities, they said that are the things that they want to work on. So what is attention for your client? It's basically whatever comes into their purview or, comes into their desk. Like, so imagine if you had a office with your client together, you're not working virtually, and you are essentially making sure that anything that comes to their desk is just moving them towards what they want. Now, right now for your client, virtually, that means that anything that comes to their inbox, anything that comes into their social media, like messages or DMs, even the team, if you guys have a team that you are working with, like the freelancers, the contractors, or essentially actual team members inside of the business, they are people that are going to be taking or distracting your client away from certain things. Now, the key here is if your client has better attention to the things that matter, they will have the better results, basically, again, to move the company forward. And a lot of your time guarding your client's attention is kind of guarding a squirrel, of making sure that they're not focusing on just the next shiny object, of making sure that they're just not attracted to doing this because everyone else is doing it. It's making sure that they are, again, aligned to whatever it is that they set as goals at the beginning of the year, of the month, whatever it is, it's keeping them in line with that. As a really good example, in the beginning of the year, one of the things that I told my assistant is, hey, I want to start doing workshops and webinars again because I do enjoy doing that. And then essentially in the last 2 years, I've been traveling so much, it didn't make sense for me to do the webinars or the workshops. But now that I've kind of gotten comfier with traveling so much, I want to do it again. So I said that at the beginning of the year. And now we've done one workshop so far in the month of February because we took off January basically as a ramp-up time. And I'm now about to do another workshop essentially for AI for virtual assistants community. And now I'm doing another one for essentially entrepreneurs, teaching them the reverse of what I'm talking about in these series. So for you as the executive assistant, you're making sure that your client is aligned of, if they do wander off into a new path of like, hey, is this the path that'll take us to essentially where you want to go, or is this a distraction? You're kind of you're herding. Imagine like a sheepdog. You're herding your client's attention towards the right things of where they said they wanted the company to go and where it's supposed to be growing into towards as well. Your goal is essentially to reduce the noise and highlight the signal. You're reducing all of the fuzziness outside and highlighting a signal of where they're supposed to be going, and based on what you guys already agreed on. I'm going to be doing a couple of videos just specialized on this. The first one is, of course, you are guarding your client's attention when it comes to inbox management, or popularly known as email management. It's making sure that as your client receives hundreds of emails, as your client receives mixed priorities, as your client receives DMs and notifications on their phone, you're making sure that it is filtered out. Essentially what you're doing is you become a filter when it comes to their inbox. Again, this is not just their email, this is also things like their LinkedIn, their Facebook, Instagram, whatever opportunities basically also land that needs their attention that people messaged him about. You are the triage. You are the filter. You're basically like, nope, I want to see before it reaches to my client. I want to make sure that this is actually a fit. And after you filter, you want to surface only what needs their attention, what needs their brain cells, essentially. So for example, for me, I don't see a lot of the emails that come into my inbox every single day. Anything that has the word subscribe to it, anything that is more of a newsletter, anything that I didn't early on flag with my assistant that I wanted to see, I don't even see at all. I only see things that need my attention. Either it's a decision that I have to make or something that I personally said like, hey, I want to take care of this. The next way that you are guarding your client's time is essentially gatekeeping. So gatekeeping in this sense is making sure that you're not really blocking people from meeting or talking to your client. It's filtering out any Zoom calls that could just be an email. It's making sure that if there are clients who are trying to get your client's attention as well, that you're making sure like, hey, is this urgent, important? Like, how soon does the client need to see this? And do you want to do this later? Or is this something that is really just right away? So you're essentially, in this way, you're an Eisenhower matrix for your client's attention. You're looking at what is the urgent and important things that they need to look at, or are things that are important but not that urgent yet. So it might be later on that you'll bring it up with them. And there are the things that are just not important but kind of feel urgent. So you're filtering those and making sure that your client doesn't even need to see them right away because it's not important, but you can handle it. You can take care of it. And of course, anything that is not important and not urgent, you don't even have to bring it up to your client. They don't even really need to know at all until like they go through like a report that you created. So that's essentially how you want to think about guarding or gatekeeping your client, is you're going through the different like part of the matrix of finding out if this person, again, is an urgent or important, not urgent but important, urgent but actually not important, and not urgent and not important. So these are the different ways that you can start thinking about this. Even though later on I will be doing a more deep dive video, I want to put this basically a little bit to your attention on how you can kind of start thinking about this. And of course, there's the turning files as a chaos into more of a clarity. You are essentially making sure that as there's probably a lot of files, just SOPs, policies, things that your client needs to know, you are summarizing long text of documents into, again, what needs their attention, what needs their decision, what needs things to move forward that only your client can do, or things that are action items that need to be added to your project and task tracker, whatever that looks like with your client. And essentially, it's keeping your client informed within minutes instead of hours. It's essentially just a mix of making sure that if something is important enough that it gets brought onto your client's attention right away, rather than then later on finding out about it, it's finding a process and a way in the system, essentially a little bit of a project management and file management in this case, where you are making sure that for your client, as things come up in the day-to-day, it's not just about their inbox, it's not about just gatekeeping people from them, but essentially they have this feeling that they're still on top of things instead of feeling behind. So for me, as another really good example, I have been in Vietnam essentially for about like 3 days as I'm recording this video. And in those 3 days, I didn't technically work for 2 of them because I was traveling and then, I was here for a family vacation. But even as I came back to work essentially yesterday, I still felt like I was on top of things. My assistant, basically my amazing assistant, still gave me the things that I needed to look at, that I needed to give my attention to. I didn't have to feel that I was falling behind even as I was off of work. So essentially, if you are an EA right now and your client still feels like their attention is everywhere, this is going to be the key part of the series for you. Now, if you guys like this video and are excited for this part of the series, make sure to hit the thumbs up button right there. Comment below any questions you might have when it comes to guarding your client's attention, or essentially what is currently overwhelming your client right now. Is it the actual inbox? Is it meetings with people who could just be an email? Or is it just because there's something that keeps bumping into their attention that doesn't actually need to be attended to? So make sure to comment that below and I'll answer any questions in a future video as well. And of course, if you still haven't yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button right there so you don't miss any of my videos every Sunday on how to grow your career online, especially with AI. And if you are essentially the client who's supposed to be giving this to their executive assistant, I have a second channel just for you here, and you can check out my latest video right here. Hope you guys have an amazing day, and with that, small steps matters, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!